being on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Professor Dave Explains did to the Globebusters. We are going to have a debate tonight because it's Saturday and, you know, why not? But we've got a real nice one tonight. We've got Rhetoric debating the fourth dimensional Earther that did the €10,000 challenge to prove Earth curvature at sea level, Howard George Stirrup. So that'll be fun. But with me tonight, as always, is my partner in crime, Team Skeptic. How you doing tonight, sir?
What up, what up? I'm doing good. Great interview last night with Professor Dave Explains. If you haven't checked it out, it's on my channel. Go check that out. It was actually really entertaining. I went back and listened to it after we got done last night, and yeah, we need to do more of that.
Yeah, and Professor Dave said he'd be happy to come back, didn't he? So we can definitely have him on again. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've actually spoken with him since then. He said he had a great time, and we talked about getting him back on in the future. So that does look like it's something that's going to happen sooner than later.
Awesome. And tonight, moderating the debate is the forever disembodied voice of Sean Hufford. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I wouldn't say forever. There's times I do show up on camera, just not often. How you guys doing?
Not bad, not bad. Did you have fun last night with Professor Dave?
Oh, of course. It was actually a really good conversation. It's, like I said last night, I've only seen his 2 videos dealing with the Globebusters, and I watched a few more of his videos today, and I'm kind of glad I got a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely happy to have him back. You'll be seeing a lot more guests, guys, on Science or Satire. We've got Martimer81 is going to be on at some point. And we know we can get hold of Slyman Dan, Conspiracy Cats, because, well, they're British and we lost the Apollo quiz. Shut up, team.
They might just be too embarrassed to come around you again.
Yeah. But yeah, tonight we've got with us the master of Flat Earth debates, the Flerf destroyer himself, Rhetoric. How are you doing, good sir?
No, the doctor said that it might be infected. But they said so long as they sit on a bag of ice, it should be good to go.
Reds, we're live. We're live.
Oh shit. Okay. Hi guys. Yes, my name is Red. I run the YouTube channel Red's Rhetoric. I am known for saying very shocking statements, like calling the flat earth theory a crock of shit, and that those who believe in it are either intellectually dishonest or can't work their way out of a paper bag. But that's just me. I'm kind of a dick.
And we're glad to have you on the show, Reds. You were one of the reasons I started this whole thing. So if anyone wants to blame anyone for my channel existing, then just blame Red's Rhetoric. But we've also got tonight, returning for the second time, Howard John Stirrup. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Howard George Stirrup.
George, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said John. Howard George Stirrup.
It's okay. No problem. Very good, thank you.
Now, welcome back to the channel. So the format for tonight is both guys are going to get 10 minutes to present evidence for why they think the Earth is the shape that they think it is, and then they have 10 minutes to rebut each other, and then we just go into an open discussion. Sean's going to be in control, so guys, if Sean says be quiet, then both of you be quiet. But with that, I'll just hand it over to you, Sean. Have fun.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's, I've actually moderated for Reds many times, so I know he's got my gist. I've moderated once for Howard. He was a very pleasant one to moderate for. He didn't really interrupt anybody. So I think that I'll have be a very small role in this tonight other than timekeeping. So, Howard, I think you said you wanted to go first with your presentation?
Yes, please.
So we'll go ahead and start. We'll go ahead and start that up. I'll start the timer when you start going.
Okay. So, have you ever washed? And before you so, how would you know? Apart from the personal hypnotism, there's also national, like fashion. And then there's the mass hypnosis, which is the globe syndrome and space exploration. Trust your eyes, not their lies. Don't debate, just verify. Conclusions from primary observations not beliefs in secondary information. Please, can you put the first GIF image on, Craig? Craig? Thank you. Why is it that meteorites always fall downwards? And how come when it showers, they don't stick together or get pulled in by our gravity, if not by their own? And if the moon wasn't transparent and also generating its independent light that happens to chill water during the waning phase, well, okay, if it was physical, then why would all the craters be perfectly at right angles? And wouldn't the Earth have sheltered them at that angle, as the image depicts? Okay, so facts. 1943. Ewan Cameron ran a hospital heavily funded by the Rockefeller Foundation, experimenting on hospital patients, military soldiers, inmates, citizens, and even children without consent, which included electric shock treatment, audio repetition to sleeping and woke, and mainly drugs, cocktails of drugs. So one could speculate nowadays that that's why there's fluoride in the water. They're spraying certain chemicals into the air, apart from the combating climate change, which is caused by them retaining the renewable energy technology and patents. But okay, then there's the GMO, which, as I say, in a cocktail, have certain effects on our psychic and physical. And then there's certain ingredients in vaccines. Apart from the thimerosal, which is derived from mercury, there's sodium chloride, aluminum phosphate, MSG, human albumin, bovine from cow skin, and sorbitol, just to name a few, which is why we shouldn't be triggered by the word anti-vaxxers and just say, hey, people are questioning the ingredients because they might be profit-driven, like I said before. Maybe we shouldn't be hypnotized to try and rebuke and rebuttal them and debunk them, and maybe we should listen to people instead of being so childish. Same with the flat earth, it's negative priming. In 1953, the CIA director Alan W. Dulles signed a memorandum informing the approval and budget for MK Ultra, supposedly as a measure against Soviet brainwashing, approving general public exposure, partially released in 1977 as all but 7 boxes of financial records were destroyed by President Nixon in 1972 to 73. There were 149 known sub-projects of MK Ultra that involved all of the previously mentioned techniques, as well as things like implanting electrodes to the brain, plus sensory deprivation, which most people crack after just 3 days. And I remind people that it's used in war and prison still to date. So now imagine the sensory excess. It works both ways, guys. So I believe we're being hypnotized. Mass hypnosis. This is why people can't see the evidence in plight. 1956, sub-project 40 of MK Ultra was the feasibility of aerosols to deliver various chemicals on non-psychotic humans. This is all documented in 1956. But no, don't worry about the aeroplanes that are leaving longer trails than they ever used to. And there's 1959, probably the best thing the Soviet space research program ever came out with was the dangers of the EMF radiation, which to date they still in Russia have the safety levels much lower than the US and many other countries. And I remind people that Switzerland and France and Germany are going for no Wi-Fi zones in public areas and especially in schools. So when there's studies showing the aberration or stimulation of memories and hallucinations from the same research studies, it tells you that maybe we can be controlled by frequencies. because in 1971, psychological disarmament of the psychotechnical error, in which Dr. Kenneth B. Clark, the president of the American Logical Association, disclosed the techniques previously recommended to condition society were through entertainment, education, law, religion, and moral philosophy, with new techniques including biochemical intervention that could alter anxiety, people's violence and cruelty tendencies, etc. In the 60s, the music industry started using subliminals like Led Zeppelin, Beatles, Jay-Z, and even Obama's Yes We Can presidential song have been caught using backmasking to put subliminals that we pick up in the subconscious. And also Taylor Swift's record label joked about having hidden messages in the very high and very low frequencies. If they didn't work, they wouldn't bother. And it's what don't we know about? We know that plants are seen growing better to Mozart and Beethoven than heavy metal because frequencies can cause aggression, depression, and we only need to see that birds are migrating differently and bees are going extinct. Maybe we shouldn't have so much trust in these industries. In 1990, Princess Diana had written in her autobiography about Jimmy Savile being so close to the family that he was called in to help her and Prince Charles, while they were still married, with their troubles. This shows how close the royal family are to some of the known dangerous satanic paedophiles of the world. Plus, there's Prince Andrew's ties to Jeff Epstein. It makes you wonder if this United Nations Antarctica Treaty is enforced by the same people, as if you look on the flat Earth map, all places that are close to the Antarctica, but what we think is the Antarctica around, happen to be English colonies. So that's interesting. Craig, please can you put the second image on? In 1992, Severn Cullis was telling everybody about global warming, and now in 2019, Greta Thunberg is now also fear-mongering order out of chaos, causing guilt via repetition, causing us to forget about the renewable energy technologies that the rich that are making us guilty own. It used to be called global warming, and now it's called climate change. What happened to that ozone layer argument that Severn Cullis was using in 1992? And how come we can see the predictive programming in The Simpsons? We can, apart from Greta, we've got Trump, we've got 911, we've got 666 and all the barcodes, the Apple logo, and the computer price it came out with, the Vodafone with 3 6s and the Ouroboros. They're not just coincidences, guys. We're having a hypnotic spell cast on us to be blind to all this stuff. Craig, please put the third image on. In 2009, we went, the majority of the world went analog to digital, which means more layers, more signals, a higher flicker causing deeper alpha state of trance. Hence why news programs all around the world have circular, spherical, and spiral graphics, and even sometimes a countdown.
30 seconds.
It's to put you in a hypnotic state. Fake and exaggerated news is used as predictive programming to implant emotional memories that will provoke a similar reaction later on. Now we've got the Santa Clarita diet, blood facials, blood transfusions from young, and the hypersexualization of children through Converse and other fashion influences, creating young addicts. And schools are teaching sex education to 3 to 5-year-olds, which is causing identity disorders, which should be left to parents or an older age.
Right,
this is
Howard.
Yeah.
Howard, your time's up. You had your 10 minutes. So.
Fair enough. Is there any chance you could just show the last 2 images, and I could talk about them after?
Yeah, well, we can show them when you talk about them after. That's fine. They're there waiting, so that we can get to them if you want to bring up any more. Obviously, a lot for Red to
yeah, there's just them 2 images I've left in the past. Thank you.
I hope you took note. I hope you took notes, Red, because you've got a lot of evidence for the shape of the Earth to refute there. So go ahead and present your proof, sir.
Okay. Tell me when to start.
Go ahead.
Thank you. On October 1st, 2017, my friend Slice Barcane posted a video where a bunch of volunteers from all over the planet measured the altitude angle of the sun during the equinox. Their goal was to find out if the round Earth model would agree with the data gathered from their observation. So participants in 9 different countries conducted this simple observation, which is very similar to the Eratosthenes observation done over 2,000 years ago. Using the latitude of each participant, the sun's elevation angle was measured during solar noon. These angles were then placed on a sphere to see the angles corresponded accordingly. The end result was this. When the lines of altitude were plotted, the only model that resulted in 0 contradictions was the globe model. This observation even verified the accepted size of the globe, because the stick lines, which are the lines that were perpendicular to the Earth's surface during the observation, all converged to a point being the center of a sphere, and those measurements were used to calculate the size of our globe. However, this observation also hinted that the sun was extremely far away. So if that could be verified, then Sly's observation is rooted in reality to an even greater extent. Or lucky for him, this comports with my observation that I did in my video, Statisticism.com versus the sun. The sun has a known angular size of around 0.53 degrees as seen from Earth, and this is the case all day, all year, all the time, no matter where you are. If you were to look at the sun through a solar filter and track it all day long like I did 3 years ago, you would see that the sun would remain the same size in the frame. This makes sense because if the sun is the size asserted and at the distance asserted, we would not expect to see any shift in angular size as predicted by the law of perspective. The law of perspective being alpha equals 2 times the arctan of g over 2r. So observations done in reality confirm what we would expect to see from a distant sun. And that distant sun comports with the observations done by Slice Barcane and his volunteers, showing the size and shape of our Earth. These observations hold water in one more way, and that is in the fact that they can be repeated. Observable, testable, and repeatable observations or experimentation is how we understand the world around us. And when applied here, the globe was on the correct side of that equal sign. I'm pretty sure Craig will put the links down below. The next line of evidence I wish to present will be direct observation of curvature from the ground. It is commonly pointed out by many engaged in this debate that water always finds its level, and this is something I agree with. Water does find its level. And if by being level, water would have to conform to a curved surface, then large bodies of water should allow us to see the curvature directly with the help of a visual reference, because level does not mean flat. This observation can be quite difficult to make because we are at the mercy of atmospheric clarity or atmospheric distortion. So this is where being very selective with your days you plan to make the observation become very important. But if you do make your observation on a clear day, you will see what I saw with my Tampa Bay blink test. You'll also see what a YouTube user by name of MC the MC1 was able to record, which is ships disappearing over the horizon, buildings being cut off 300 feet up, and being done in a way where they're not distorted, they're not stretched, they're not contorted. In fact, in my observation, you can make out individual windows on the skyscrapers. This was done on a very clear day. So again, you can do this yourself. You don't need to take my word for it. Another observation I did was my observation where I did my observations repeated video, where I filmed a sailboat disappearing over the horizon. While not as clear as the first video that was referenced, which is the blink test, it's clear enough to show the geometry of our planet at work. Another way this could be done is with a continuous visual reference, like with a straight and level bridge. Well, soundly, another YouTuber who lives near Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Pontchartrain Causeway is able to do that for us. The length of this bridge makes it possible to curvature of the Earth directly given a clear note. So when atmospheric clarity allows for it, you get observations like the bridge literally curving with the Earth. What is amazing here is that this observation was also virtually modeled with the assumed size and shape of our globe on its channel. And when you compare the computer to what was actually observed, they match perfectly. This shows that the round Earth model made a prediction, and that prediction turned out to be the case. This is great because, again, only models that are able to reliably make predictions are the ones that should be followed and trusted. Not only does it pass the test with those predictions, it gives us a damn good explanation on a few other things. Like, why is it that light from the sun will run along the Earth's surface in the morning and in the evening? Why is it that we have 2 points in which the stars rotate, one in the north, one in the south? And why is it that the north celestial pole will be unable to be seen from the southern hemisphere, and vice versa? The round Earth model provides an answer to all these questions, and like it or not, it demonstrates that the round Earth model at the very least comports with reality. Light will run along the Earth's surface because a single light source can only illuminate half the sphere at a time, leaving the edges of the illuminated surface to be tangent with the line of light. And we have 2 poles because a spinning sphere, or a sphere being rotated around, whichever, will have an axis leading to 2 celestial poles. And these poles will not be visible to the opposite hemisphere because they run into the same problem that the ships do and the buildings do when they disappear bottom up and eventually out of sight, the geometry of a spherical Earth. On September 2nd, 2015, December 22nd, 2017, June 29, 2018, and August 8, 2019, the geometry of our planet made itself known in a very beautiful way. As stated previously, an illuminated sphere will have edges to that illumination, and the edges of the illuminated surface will be tangent with the line of light. This also means that just before dawn and just after dusk, light would actually be heading upwards and away from the surface at an angle according to the round Earth model. So even though it would be dark where you are, there is indeed light streaming overhead. You just happen to be in a location where the sun's light is by curvature. However, if an object were to travel high enough, it could cross into the path of the sunlight, thus illuminating itself. They would be seeing over the curve. This is what is predicted by the round Earth model, but has it actually? Yes, it has happened more than once. Hell, I filmed 3 such events myself. The dates mentioned previously are dates of rocket launches, and these engineering examples of pure badassery have the capability to reach the altitudes needed. And I have personally filmed, again, 3 luminous launches where the rocket is intersecting the sunlight, even though the surface of the Earth remains dark at the time. Once again, the round Earth model made a prediction, and that prediction turned out to be the case. Following a similar example, but much closer to home, the moderator of tonight's debate, Sean Hufford, filmed multiple sunrises with his DJI Mavic Pro. This follows the same concept that the previous line of evidence, but does in a way that anyone could repeat without having to wait for a rocket launch. What he did was very simple. He had his drone at a set altitude and waited for the sun to be visible. As soon as the sun was just visible, he dropped altitude and the sun disappeared again. The geometry of a spherical Earth predicts that this would be the case, and when it was tested, it turned out to actually be the case. In fact, I did the same observation with my DJI Mavic Pro. Thanks, Wolfie. But I did it with a sunset, not a sunrise. And when my Mavic Pro gained altitude, the sun that had already set came back into frame. The facts of our reality are once again comporting with the round Earth model. The link to Sean's video, I believe, is going to be listed in the description, so please make sure that gets done. And to finish off, I'll say it before and I will say it again. Observable, testable, and repeatable experimentation or observation is how we will understand the world around us. And when applied here, the globe was on the correct side of that equal sign once again. This shouldn't be surprising because the round Earth model comports with reality. And to finish it off, notice how I didn't have to go to NASA for any of this.
All right, you still had 1:45 left. So, Howard, would you like to address any of the points that Red's brought up?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, number 1, what you see above us doesn't necessarily reflect on what's happening down here. It suggests. But like I said, the moon can't be 100% physical because you can sometimes see a star through it when it's only at half phase. So it looks like it's a 4th dimensional shape as well.
I paused your timer, Howard. Howard, I paused your time. I paused your time because you're not. Red's never brought up the moon other than what was it you brought up about the moon, Red?
The sun. He brought up the
right,
sun,
so,
and his first point was the sun. So I'm saying, as we can see stars through the moon, and we can also check for ourselves that the waning moonlight chills water, we don't know what light is. It might not be.
But again, Reds didn't bring up the moon or the fact that it chills water.
Sorry?
Reds didn't bring up the moon or about the claim about it chilling water. You're supposed to be addressing the points he brought up.
I am, because it's that we don't know what light is, which proves that we don't know what we're looking at. We might not be looking at a physical thing. We might be looking at something that's not physical, like another.
Continue.
So you've got like your solid, your liquid, your gas, and then your plasma.
Go ahead and continue.
Or whatever you want to do. That's your sun. Maybe it doesn't abide by the physical laws of nature. Maybe it's different laws up there. You mentioned stars going at a different rotation when you're looking southbound. I haven't been myself, but without trying to say the footage is wrong, I have seen footage where you can put a dome, a glass dome over something and it reverses right at the extremities. I can also say that maybe there's more to this shape than we've taken for granted, and that's why I don't say flat. It could be a fourth dimensional shape that we can't perceive. It could be flat faced, and then who knows? At the end of the day, we're recommending you have personal experience of exploration, where Red's just recommended that you go and check out videos. With all due respect, enough of the secondary information, easy to check for yourself, make the primary observation. That's what we're recommending. It's strange that all the people against flat Earth claim to be into science, yet they prefer to just judge what Simon Dan says. And with all due, you've got your number one fan, Craig. You're all sci-fi fans if you just listen to what Simon Dan says and don't check it for yourselves. He doesn't even provide experiments when he tries to debunk.
I'm going to pause your timer again. I'm going to pause your timer again because Simon Dan was never. Hold on. Stop. Simon Dan was never brought up in this, and all of the evidence that Red's presented was filmed firsthand, either by himself or when he provided one clip that I filmed myself. This isn't third-party information.
People believe you. I'm asking people to go and look for yourselves. See the difference?
I'm just clarifying that we're not providing third-party information at all.
But it's still secondary information when I'm recommending primary observations, personal experience. That's the difference. That's real science, not sci-fi, natural sciences. The next point was, you were saying that observations showing the bottom of the building missing is proof of curvature, yet we all know that things vanish in the horizon due to Fata Morgana, because of light reflecting off denser air and humidity and stuff. Why aren't we talking about the buildings shouldn't be there at all? Because I live 20 miles away and I can see buildings 20 miles away at water level. Now, your point was depending where the light hits them, yeah? So that's not true. I see these buildings in the morning when the sun is behind me. So it's in front of them. I see these buildings perfectly in the afternoon when the sun's setting behind them. So they're behind them, okay? I see these buildings at night time through all the lights, and I even see the street lights along the beach front, 20 miles away from the beach of Benidorm. And I recommend everyone come to them and have a swim in a day and then have a little paddle at night, and you'll see it for yourselves. There's not 80 meters curve like there's supposed to be 20 miles away where I live. You can observable, measurable, repeatable. Okay, there's not any drop when you're looking from Blackpool to the Isle of Man, and there's not any drop when you can see the island of Ibiza from Denia. So the three places I've checked tell me that your secondary information is not right. So I'm recommending people check for themselves, because you're just talking about perspective and stuff, and it's all just jargon. You're confusing things. Just go and check for yourselves, everybody. Stop believing and know from personal experience. That's all my answers, I think, unless there's anything you want an answer for that I forgot to note down.
Well, you still had 6.5 minutes left because I paused the timer every time I interrupted you.
Oh, have I got time left? Can I put my other points in?
No, you were supposed to be rebutting the evidence. Oh, Howard, don't interrupt me. You were supposed to be rebutting the evidence that Red's brought, which I'm going to just declare you failed miserably. So, Reds, would you like to address the evidence that he brought?
Sure. Tell me when.
So, go.
Okay. I'm going to just put this to you, Craig. Just make sure it makes it into the description. It is a video from Astronomy Live showing that moonlight is not colder, whatever the hell that means. So anyway, gravity is irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. Gravity is not the same as geometry. Astronomy Live debunked the cold water, the cold light, moonlight thing on his channel 2 years ago. Meteorites explode, which make round craters. GMO is irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. Soviet brainwashing is irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. Nixon being a douchebag is irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. Aerosols is irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. EMF safety levels and no Wi-Fi zones is also irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. Dr. Kenneth Lee Clark wasn't involved in cosmology or space science, therefore is irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. Taylor Swift and Secret Messages and Beavis and Butthead Do America is irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. Princess Diana's family connections is also irrelevant to the shape of the Earth. Climate change is not a question of geometry, therefore is irrelevant to this discussion. Blood transfusions are also irrelevant to the shape of the Earth, and numerology can be used to prove anything, like the time I used it to prove that Russian Biz had a sexual relationship with O.J. Simpson and he was the bottom bitch. I'm done.
Okay, you still had 841 left.
Thank you.
Well, now that we've had the evidence addressed from each participant, yeah, I think we can open up to open discussion. So, Howard, I think you had some extra stuff you wanted to bring up that you'd wanted Red to address.
Yeah.
Oh, audio just went to crap.
Yeah, say that again.
Did his audio Howard? Just go to crap?
Yeah, it was just Howard.
Can you
there,
put
Howard?
the fourth image on, please?
Yeah. Is that this one?
Yeah, and see, is that the fourth one?
What does the fourth one have on it? Was it maybe that one?
I think we've done that one.
Or
there you go.
This one?
No, that's the fifth one. We'll get there.
Right. So that was this is the fourth one then.
Okay. So the thing is, everyone's got strong opinions, but at the end of the day, people like us are recommending inquiry, investigation. You guys tend to just keep recommending videos and websites, secondary information. Okay? I'm not convinced. I'm going to keep inquiring no matter how much you ridicule me, because I'm into real science, and especially when it involves people's health. So in 2018, there was a committee hearing about social media censorship, where Miss Juniper Downs, lead of global policy for YouTube, addresses Mr. Deutsch. Quote, "Our goal is to promote authoritative content to our users by demoting low quality and also introducing boxes that include factual information at the top of the results that have turned up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching the earth is flat." So just like I proved censorship on Facebook promoting scientific method in science groups in the image last week, and just like I showed that Facebook censoring math and mathematic websites that calculate the curvature expected, why would that be censored? Why is YouTube censoring and demoting content? If it should be a fair debate, if we're wrong, then we'll prove it by talking nonsense. But if we've been censored and suppressed, then that shows that we're onto something. Mass hypnosis. How much evidence do you guys need? Okay, you want to talk about numerology, even though I didn't bring it up? From 2015 to 2017, I was a Freemason. I rose to the 3rd degree, and I went to lodges of emulation, York and Scottish Rite, English and Spanish speaking in Spain and in Peru. So I know all about rituals, secrecy, and that there's 6 million regular members, Plus, apart from the 6 million, there's irregular, which means the male and female. Then there's the Eastern Star, and then there's higher degrees, side orders, and satanic orders, and nothing counted. So it's like when you guys laugh about this stuff, I've got personal experience about how serious this stuff is taken. Okay, it's not a joke, and you can't join from being on a site, Craig. So either you are, and you were just leaking out a bit of information, which it's your life, it's your soul. I regret my decision, and that's why I left.
Well, just as a reminder, this
also
is an open discussion.
astronauts have to be Freemasons. Most astronauts are one of the other degrees, and they call it the great architect of the universe. But if it turns out that Big Bang, evolution, and this globe is just a load of shit, a big fart of crap that's making everyone feel materialistic, then that grand architect is the Antichrist, whatever that is.
Just
And
to remind you, Reds, this is a back and
masonry,
forth section.
just like Alice
Why?
Bailey,
But
Anytime you want.
falls
yeah,
the
because
actualization of that
if I try to
power
cut in, he keeps talking.
All right, let Reds respond to
Anyway,
some of the
Mark-
things you've said. All right.
Howard, take a breath.
Yeah,
Let
I've
Reds
got
respond.
one last point.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Okay, so
the
Craig,
point
But-
was-
why? Do you hate me, Craig? Is that it? Did I touch you in a bad way in a past life?
I'm sorry.
I'm not after you or Craig Red. I'm after the subscribers that have actually got an ear to listen and check and
So in
investigate.
other
the
words,
stuff
you're
that
not
I'm
here to
saying.
I'm
debate,
sure you're
you're here to
convincing
talk.
a shitload of people.
Did I just
I'm
hear
sure
that
you're
right? You're not here to
convincing-
debate. Hold on, Red, stop.
Look into
Howard, stop.
the new
Howard.
books.
Howard, are you saying you're not
Yeah.
here to debate? You're just here to soapbox?
No, I'm here to debate, but I don't expect to.
Then let
to
your
convince
debater
this.
respond.
I'm here to try and get the message across so people check stuff out, and then they can have
But you said you're not here
informed
to talk with Red or Craig. You
I'm
said you're
just
here to
trying
talk
to
to
finish.
subscribers. You're trying to soapbox.
Yeah, let Reds respond to something that you've said.
Sure thing. I was just going to say that
Oh, for fuck's
the tying up of that point is that apart from the Masonic influence in the New World Order, like the Vatican and Alice
Harold,
Bailey and the
Harold,
astronauts,
calm down,
you've
Harold.
also-
Harold, 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 calm down.
It's being
Harold,
sensitive,
calm
guys.
down.
Right now,
Listen,
I'm just trying to
Harold,
finish
calm
my
down.
points.
Listen,
being
Harold,
sensitive.
no, Harold, listen, Harold, Harold,
You can
listen.
try and wind me up.
He's
but
not censoring you, Harold. Harold, listen. He's not censoring you. He just needs to
Howard, mate.
respond to your point before you. Harold, please. He needs to respond to your point before you move on to the next point. So, Reds, if you'd please like to respond to that point he made, I guess. And
Which
then Harold
one?
will be able to give a second point after that. Just one
Which
of them.
one?
I don't
Which of the
know.
endless
Cool.
amount of
Pick one.
non sequiturs do I have to actually respond to? Because quite literally, satanic rituals
I don't know.
are all well and good. If that's how you get off at night, you do you. If numerology is your thing, you do you. I don't care about people who get triggered by 666. By the way, we're going to be playing Ghost VC on my channel after this is done. Hail Satan. We're
Satan.
talking about geometry. Give me something that has something to do with geometry and isn't filled with this overly retarded conspiratorial bullshit.
Craig, have you got the fourth image? The one that's got the images of what I'm talking about, please.
This one?
Okay, I'm stopping it
No,
right
that's-
there because it has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. That's what you're here
about
for,
the
Howard.
history
Shape of Earth.
being covered up. I
Okay,
will. I'm
Craig,
about the
I'm
massive
going to implore you
gnosis.
now. I'm going to implore you now, Craig. This man is not here for a debate or anything to deal with the shape of the Earth. He is here to talk conspiracy, and I suggest this comes to an end at this point.
Oh, I would rather that he actually try and address some of Red's actual evidence because
He's already done that and failed miserably.
Well, his answer was, I don't want to trust secondhand information. But what you don't understand, Howard, is none of this is secondhand information. Everything that Red spoke about is his personal first-hand information that he has gathered himself. Flat Earthers have been asking over and over and over, you guys go and do the experiments. You've got the guy here that's been doing those experiments. So talk about the experiments. Talk about the fact that Reds has filmed ships going over the horizon. Talk about the fact that Reds has proven that there is a vacuum above us and not a dome. Talk about the fact that Reds has actually done the things that you guys have been asking to be done. He has actually done them, this guy here. So address that, and don't worry about the fucking number 33 and Freemasons. Who gives a fuck? Talk about physical reality. You've done your soapboxing, now actually debate.
Just to be clear, let me just expound on this. When Slice Arcane did his observation confirming the size and shape of our Earth using the altitude angles of the sun at solar noon, I did my own version of that, and I got the same exact results. So yes, I did that myself. That wasn't secondhand. The Tampa Bay blink test. The reason why it was in Tampa Bay is because I filmed it in Tampa Bay. I live here. When it comes to the rocket launches that did which launched into the sunshine, I filmed not one, not two, but 3 of them. I filmed 3 luminous launches which demonstrate the shape of our Earth. It's what is predicted by the round Earth model. I also measured the angular size of the sun over, what was it, 3 years ago in my videos to tedism.com versus the sun, where I verified that the angular size of the sun does not change throughout the day, which it would have to in order for it to make sense on this bullshit flat Earth model that you guys keep trying to push. I mean, these are stuff that I did. Also, the multiple sunrise. Sean Huffer did it. The moderator of tonight's debate did it. I did it in over the Gulf of Mexico. These are things that I personally have done. I didn't go to NASA, ESA, JAXA, ULA, SpaceX, Blue Origin, whatever. I didn't go to them. I did this myself. So what seems to be the problem here?
You're asking people to believe your evidence instead of checking for themselves. That's the 3rd time I've said it. It's quite simple.
They can do it themselves.
Conflicts with my primary observations. I've seen buildings. Everyone can come to benefit.
Well, let's see your evidence, Howard. Let's see your evidence of you done that.
Hold on. Let's address that because let's address that because he won't let people accept what Reds has personally done, or I have myself personally done, but he wants people to accept what he says he's done. Do you see the hypocrisy there? Do you see the hypocrisy there?
I shared the image last week, and I'm telling that everyone can go to Benidorm and see for yourself.
And everyone can go to Tampa and see it for themselves.
What?
You can go to the north side of Skyway Bridge and see the exact same thing I saw. You can go to Lake Pontchartrain Causeway and see the exact same thing I saw. You don't have to take my word for it. You can also look at the sun via a solar filter at the same zoom throughout the day and see that it doesn't change in angular size. You can do that yourself. You can also repeat the observation that my good friend Astronomy Live did to show that there actually is nothing to this cold moonlight bullshit conspiracy theory that you guys keep trying to push. It's almost as if you're accepting some secondhand information instead of actually doing it yourself. Either that, or you just suck at doing observations.
Right,
so why should we believe you over me?
But you can't present counter evidence, can you? Because you might just see the
video has been posted. The video has been posted that shows that evidence. This isn't me pulling random shit out of my ass. This is me providing a link where you can go watch it, and then you can see the methodology, and then you can test it for yourself. Do it and see what happens.
Yeah, put 2 glasses of water outside, unsheltered, one in the shade of the moon and one in the waning moonlight.
Howard, we went over that. Howard, we went over that last week and showed you that the moonlight has nothing to do with the temperature differential. We've covered that. Right, but
you claimed it. But you haven't done it. You can all do it next week from Monday to Friday.
Wait, stop. Right, science doesn't mean everybody does everything. That's fucking retarded. That's not what science is. Because if everybody did everything, no one would get anything fucking done. Do you think
I've heard that argument for 2 years, Craig?
And that's a fact.
Of water outside and stop complaining.
We've shown you conclusively that doesn't. That the moonlight's nothing to do with it.
You're being religious.
We've shown you conclusively. I don't have to do everything myself so that I believe everything that's ever been done. That's not science.
You don't want to do it, mate. Don't do it. You believe what you want. But people that do it know. You don't believe. That's not science.
Except oh my God.
Hang on.
But yeah,
You have
guys
not.
all
You have.
interrupt me. Say,
Hang on.
if
Hang
I
on.
may,
You
if I
have
may,
not
Howard, stop.
done. Hang
Howard, stop.
No. Hang on. Hang on. You have not done even a fraction of the science that makes the internet possible, and yet here you are.
Totally related, mate.
Right, Howard, what is it? This picture in front of you. What is it about this picture that you think's impossible?
Right. Everyone can come to Benidorm, and even if they don't want to go on that cable ski, they can stand by the beach just in front of McDonald's, and they can see the buildings in the morning. Sun's behind you. Yeah, shining on them. You can check in the afternoon when it's sunset, sun behind them. You can check at night time and see all the street lights. They're 20 miles away. That proves that there's not 80 meters over 20 miles. That proves that they're lying about the dimensions. I'm not pushing a model. Don't insinuate and try and point the finger at me like I'm preaching beliefs. Red. Yeah?
Actually,
You're the
you
one
did
asking
insinuate a
people to
model.
believe your videos, mate. You're the false prophet.
Dude, you did insinuate a model. You quite clearly stated that the AE map is the right thing.
No.
And
I said it might be fourth dimensional. I said I don't know last week, and I'm saying it this week. Don't try and put me as a preacher. I'm recommending science. You guys are asking people to
say
something.
No, you're not. What you're doing is you're
something?
preaching non sequiturs. Like seriously.
What
Your
you got to
your
say?
entire opening statement was just a bunch of non sequiturs. It had nothing to do with geometry. What was that, team?
Yeah, no, you
Won't
got
put
it
my
right.
fourth image on though, will you?
Howard, stop
hold
one
on,
sec.
Harold, I'm speaking.
Howard, stop.
Harold, I'm speaking. Harold, I'm speaking. Okay. So you once again you have brought up distant observations. You have not talked about the refractive index, so it's not an actual scientific observation. It's simply you just trying to say, "Hey, look, I saw something. Good for you." Well, nobody's saying you didn't fucking see it because, as far as we're concerned, that doesn't mean shit. Okay. You then brought up Fata Morgana, which involves refraction. So you obviously accept refraction as a fucking possibility on your, for your observations that you have. So that kind of contradicts that. You've also asked Reds to provide counter evidence, which I still have no idea what he's even supposed to be countering because you didn't provide evidence to begin with. Harold, this is the second time we've had you on. Now, we have a lot of faith in you. Can you? Is there anything that you have that physically that we can actually talk about that would show us that the model that we live on is either incorrect or the one that you propose is correct? Is there anything?
Yeah, let me finish. There's only that little bit left. What are you scared of, guys?
We're not scared of anything. We want some evidence from you.
And here's your evidence. Satanism and atheism is all related to the big deception, the delusion.
That's not evidence.
The man-God delusion that you can know good and bad, yeah? So, as a Freemason, I learned to take the Bible and all other scriptures as symbolic, and that there could be wisdom in all ancient texts. So I've seen a lot of dots, and I can see a bigger picture, and it's mass hypnosis. Now, you guys say it's not related. Well, Aleister Crowley was a Satanist, and he was into sex magic with minors. TED Talks now.
Wait. I need to stop you and bring up a very big misconception you've got about. Right, Howard, you said something plainly false there. Satanism in general has nothing to do with harming children because actually that's very much against what Satanism is. So if you're gonna actually try and present evidence, try and make it correct.
Aleister Crowley doesn't write about sex magic with minors.
I'm just telling you what Satanism is because you also don't know.
The one that is praised by
Crowley
the Beatles
doesn't
on their
define
album.
Satanism. Crowley does not define Satanism. Crowley does not define Satanism. Again, this has nothing to do with the shape of the earth.
Right, is that what you're...
It's the delusion that blinds you to the truth because you believe that there's nothing floated and created conscious rocks that evolved into...
Have you finished that little bit paragraph you had?
I was nearly finished. This is what I'm saying.
Come on.
You've got TED Talks and Alfred Kinsley, who are normalizing pedophilia. Just watch The Ninth Circle.
Not relevant to the shape of the earth.
By Alfred Kinsley, detailing how he paid a father and grandfather to rape the same child so he could
Okay,
Not relevant to the shape of the earth.
Just saying I called it.
Yeah, right, Howard, stop. Howard, stop. Right.
This is the delusion, and you won't let me speak because you're scared that I'll show
Hush.
Howard, you haven't shown anything.
Harold.
Nothing you have shown or said is anything.
Please.
I've got this little bit to finish, but you keep interrupting because you're scared.
You keep saying this little bit to finish.
Harold, be quiet.
Denial.
Howard,
be quiet.
Stop.
Be quiet. Be quiet. You are not providing any kind of evidence for the shape of the earth. You are not.
Yes,
you are
I
simply
am. You're
using
all
this as a
delusional
platform.
because
Hush.
That's
not evidence.
Hush, Harold.
That isn't evidence.
Harold, hush.
No, it's not.
Using
showing you
this
photos of
opportunity
buildings. I'm
to
telling you to
push
check for
your
yourself.
personal...
Howard, stop.
Hush, Harold.
All right, I've muted him.
Harold. All right, Harold, listen. You're using this opportunity to push your personal agenda, okay? Not to talk about the shape of the earth. You have not offered not one single piece of evidence. You've said one observation, which was not backed by any kind of scientific anything, okay? It was just simply you saying, hey, I saw this. Big, I've already told you. From our perspective, it's big fucking deal, okay? We can prove that, all right? We can explain that. You can't explain what we can show. What Reds has showed, you cannot explain. Explaining it away by saying that the government is involved in some fantastical pedophilia whatever is not, even if that was true, it would not explain the shape of the earth. It would not contradict anything that Reds presented, and it's still not you presenting positive evidence for your belief, okay? That's all we're asking from you. If you can't do that, then just leave. If you can, we'd like to have that conversation with you.
You keep telling me how you've got. You keep telling me how you've got evidence, Howard. All right, I've let you get through your entire spiel. There's nothing left in that couple of words or whatever that can change anyone's mind because no one gives a fuck about any of this conspiratorial bullshit. Have a look at the evidence that was presented. Why doesn't the sun change in angular size? Why not?
It's not physical.
Wait, sorry, no. Look at that. It's very physical. You're wrong. There is proof right there that you're wrong. That's taken by a real person that we know. So it's not third-hand information. It's actually proper, so address that, all right? The sun is physical, there's evidence, and it doesn't change in angular size. Please explain it.
You say it's physical.
I just showed you evidence. I just showed you evidence. There's the evidence it's physical.
That's not conclusive, Craig.
Yes, it very much is. It's there in front of your face.
It sounds, right? It's what this sounds like to me is that you're not going to accept any video, any image, any mathematics whatsoever. At this point, I think we're done here.
Yeah, Howard, mate,
I said that a while ago.
Howard, you actually embarrassed yourself tonight. Honestly, you seriously embarrassed yourself. You don't even know what Satanism is, and you're trying to use that as something. You don't even know what it fucking is. And all those fucking images that you've shown, they're all photoshopped. Everything that you've shown makes no relevance to reality in the slightest, okay? And you know what? As you're here, I'm going to call you out as the fraud that you are, because your challenge was 100% completed. 100% completed, without fail. And it is absolutely reproducible. You can just go and do it yourself, but you won't because you have to pay that guy $10,000. Euros. Here is your challenge has been completed. Here you go. It's done. Pay the fucking money and don't be a coward.
Craig, that's
actually
black and white, bad quality.
Well, go and reproduce it yourself. Go and reproduce it.
2 years I've been waiting.
Go and right, Howard, stop. Howard, I'm going to ask you a direct. Howard, stop. Howard, I'm going to ask you a direct question. Will you go and attempt to reproduce this?
I have.
When?
I've been to that beach many times.
Where's the photos?
I've never seen that bloody rock.
Where's the photos?
Right?
Where's the photos?
Craig.
I haven't been there taking photos. I've been that beach.
Right, so they've got no evidence.
Hang on. Let me just try to get this out real quick. I don't know who the dude I'm debating is, but I'll just ask one question. Do you know what alprazolam is?
Say again?
Do you know what alprazolam is?
I don't know.
What I would like for you to do is I want you to go to the doctor and I want you to ask if it's right for you. I'm done here.
Yeah. Howard, you've been absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. You embarrassed yourself and you embarrassed the Flat Earth movement. You're a fraud. You're a coward who refuses to answer any questions and actually do any experiments yourself. You are a fraud. You are a fraud, Howard.
Greg,
Simple as that.
This is literally Jeranism versus Rhetoric 2.0.
Yeah.
He brought nothing about the geometry of the Earth.
Nothing.
He countered nothing about the geometry of the Earth from what Red brought. It was a total waste of time.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. Or are you showing something you didn't get
I
correct?
think this was a total waste of time. This was a total waste of time.
All right. This is what Flat Earth is at this point, guys. This is what Flat Earth is. Frauds and charlatans. This guy put up a €10,000 challenge for someone to prove that there is curvature at sea level. Someone did it. He presented evidence. Howard will not go and reproduce it himself, even though his proviso is that it has to be reproduced before he can pay out. So unless Howard goes and actually does these photos and shows evidence that he's tried to get it, he is a fraud and a charlatan.
Wait a second.
And I really hope that he can be taken to court.
Am I on mute,
is this the picture?
Sorry, Sean.
Is this the picture setup? Is this the picture set that Howard actually offered to pay for the dude's trip to go up there and prove it to him, and he basically said, "I'm going to take you out for a beer."
Yeah,
but I'm not going to pay for your flight.
Yeah,
dude, you are a total fraud.
Absolutely, 100%.
Howard,
yeah,
that's a lie.
That's all you've got, saying it's a lie, but you don't have the actual balls to go and prove it for yourself.
Is that the best quality you can come up with? It's fucking Photoshop. Stop playing with
Harold,
my
Harold, I have a question
No,
for you.
Howard,
I have a question.
Howard, shut up. Howard.
Listen, Harold, I have a question. You said you expect to, do we expect you to just believe Red's evidence? Red saying that those pictures were his. Do you really expect us to believe that just because you said the other guy's lying, that he's really lying?
Go and get the same evidence.
Go on then. Do it yourself. Do it yourself.
Believe Red.
I'm offering 10,000 for 2 years, and that's the best you can come up with. One guy tried to fake it.
It's not. Yeah, but you have to prove that it's fake.
You're shit. I'm
Are you
recommending.
trying to get in the running for dumb fuck of the year?
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I think
Howard,
we're done here.
Quite
Howard,
honestly,
you're a penis. You're an absolute twat, dude. Just go away now.
You can keep your money.
You're a fraud, you're a charlatan, and you're a coward. That's all there is to it. Absolute fraud, charlatan, and coward. Yeah, you're muted. No one can hear what you're saying right now. You look like an absolute fool. You owe someone €10,000. Whether it's one person that's done it or 1,000 person that's done it, it's been done. You don't have any evidence that it's fake. You can go and reproduce it yourself. The guy is willing to reproduce it himself, and I'm going to actually try and get hold of him so that he can do it, and then we can actually make you pay that money that you said you would. But like all flat earthers who try and offer money for something, you wouldn't do it because you're a liar, a coward, a charlatan, a fraud, and frankly, a disgusting piece of shit. So please get off of my channel, and you can't come back.
Can Xanax be taken rectally? Let's see. Worth a shot.
Well, that was fun. Reds, this is what Flat Earth is now. This is what you've reduced it to. You killed it. They don't have anything to say.
I still never got an answer to my question, dude.
Which question?
What the fuck? What the fuck? Did I touch you in a bad way in a past life? Like, what the actual fuck, dude? I thought we were friends.
You introduced me to Flat Earth.
Did you just see the birth of Jeranism and Dell's bastard child?
I know, right? Oh, that guy. But going back to the Jeranism debate and looking at this, you're right. There's just so many similarities in the fact that they don't have any evidence to present. And when they are presented with evidence, the only answer is, well, I didn't do it myself, so therefore it must be fake. Everyone's lying. I don't need to answer the question.
Well, what tripped my trigger was, he says that the stuff that Reds has filmed himself isn't submittable because it's secondhand, because it's coming from Reds. but he wants everybody to accept his videos and his claims because they're coming from him. It's the same damn thing. You know, it's the double standard that pisses me off.
And I went back and forth with him beforehand. Like I said, you know, Reds is the one that's got all the evidence. He's like, I can refute it all, I can refute it all. I've got my own things that I can send you. And then an hour before we start, he sends me those 5 pictures. It's fucking...
Like... I don't know if you remember this, but during my rebuttal of his supposed evidence, how long did that take me?
About 4 minutes, maybe less.
No. He still had 8.5 minutes.
Well, I meant the rebuttal thing.
Oh, the rebuttal, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the rebuttal phase, I just went down and just said, yeah, all this shit that you brought up is irrelevant to the shape of the Earth.
Well,
Like, all of it.
you can just
Literally
apply-
all of it. Why do I give a fuck about... Why do I give a fuck about Princess Diana's family connections?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
And you can apply Hitchens' razor to anything he says because he never actually presents any evidence to anything he ever says.
I was just trying to figure out what connection there was for all of the bullshit he was talking about. Whether it's a true conspiracy or it's an actual event, what does it have to do with the fucking shape of the Earth? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely. And this is the reason that I am looking for opponents outside of Flat Earth, because you can't debate Flat Earth anymore because there isn't anything to debate. You know, Reds has destroyed it right even before I turned up. I just had sloppy seconds after Reds was done with it, basically. So
It's I didn't mean to hand it to you while it was still dripping.
yeah,
That's gross.
It's hard
It actually irritates me. It actually irritates me that, you know, last week he came on here. It was a polite conversation. I only had to step in, I think, once, and I think that was against Team Skeptic, actually. But, you know, he was very polite. He was very cordial. It was a very good conversation. You know, you guys talked about the shape of the Earth. Today he comes in to debate somebody who's good at debunking flat earthers and giving, you know, supporting evidence for a globe, and he doesn't touch the topic at all. I mean, what the fuck? And he totally flipped the script. I mean, I absolutely, I'm almost at a point where I want to despise the guy just because of tonight.
Oh, no, I definitely do despise the guy after tonight because it showed me exactly who he is. You know, the evidence that he is a fraud is the fact that his challenge was absolutely beaten without doubt. And he wouldn't, you know, he would never pay up. You could take him there and do the experiment with him there and he still wouldn't pay up. So just like Flat Out Hero, who owes both MC Toon and Wolfie $100,000 each, that he definitely owes the guy who took those pictures.
Well, technically, he owes Reds at this point as well because Reds presented his Tampa Bay observation.
Yeah, so
technically he owes Reds
10,000 euros, mate.
He can keep the money because let's face it, I ain't gonna get that shit anyway because I honestly don't believe that he has that money to begin with. He's just talking shit. He has no intention of ever paying out because he has it in his mind that everything is fake, everything's part of the conspiracy, everything is Satanism, everything has something to do with child pedophilia, horrifying sex rings, and Freemasonry, and fucking Taylor Swift secret messages and Princess Diana's family connection, GMOs, and whatever the fuck other irrelevant nonsense. Yeah, everything's part of that, and nothing about geometry
where did he come up
whatsoever.
with GMOs equals psychic control?
Because everything is to hypnotize you, apparently. I mean, I just don't.
We have a nice little hashtag going out, or 2 hashtags I see now going through the live chat. Hashtag Harold and hashtag sub to Harold.
Yeah,
and also,
you were calling him Harold,
like
and I was letting you carry on because it was triggering him.
Oh man, I was doing it on purpose. Oh god, fuck him. You know. First, I would like to say Marcus Dresden. He gave me a super chat the other day with no message, and I told him if he had a message to let me know. He says he actually has a message for today, and it's for his I think it's his girlfriend Magda von der Weed. I hope I said that right. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
He said shout her out because she loves both of us. So we love you too, Magda, and happy birthday!
Happy birthday! We love you.
And that guy over there.
Yeah.
Right.
Bring up irrelevant fucking nonsense like Nixon being a douchebag, aerosols being sprayed from planes or whatever the fuck else. I go, listen, I can go ahead and grant all of that shit. It has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
So, in all the time that you've been debating flat earthers, Red, have you ever been presented with evidence that the Earth is flat?
No, but I've been presented with an awesome opportunity to use numerology to prove that Russian vids had a sexual relationship with O.J. Simpson and that he was, in fact, the bottom bitch.
I mean, I can definitely believe that to be true, so maybe numerology confirmed?
Maybe. You know?
We had 33
I'm just saying, the evidence is pretty fucking compelling, you know?
Yeah, we had...
after you saw what happened when... as soon as you see what happens when Russian vids spoke to Cheshire, that's also supporting evidence that he might have been the bottom bitch.
Yeah. Cheshire is pretty awesome. But Russian vids is very much like this guy in that he doesn't have evidence that the Earth is flat, but everything else that he can't understand is apparently evidence, even though it's nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
You've quite literally scraped the bottom of the barrel with this one.
Yeah, well, it's his €10,000 challenge that made me think about him for you, because I know that you have given the evidence that he has been asking. His direct words were that he would pay €10,000 for someone who could show that there was curvature at sea level, and you've done that probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. You did it.
So if I was like the lucky. Well, if I was the luckiest son of a bitch on the planet, and let's hypothetically say I had the opportunity to give a hand job to Jeff Bezos so I could get a suborbital launch on his new Shepard rocket, the one that looks like a penis, and I was to have him come along with me because I could bring a friend, and he was to see the curvature of the Earth from past the Kármán line, that he wouldn't accept it because it's not at, quote, sea level.
Yeah. Oh my god, they don't even understand what level is though, Reds. You have to break it down so basic to them that it's either level means flat or level means horizontal. They don't understand that words have different meanings.
Nice.
Oh, all right. Anyone got any final thoughts on that before I read super chats and let everyone get out of here?
I need to take a shit now.
Is that because of Harold or just in general?
I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
Because
it depends on what the shit looks like.
What are you going to say, Sean?
Usually if it's solid, then that has nothing to do with flat Earth. But if it's kind of creamy and kind of liquid, then flat Earth.
I'm just saying super chats, please, because after dealing with Harold, thank you, Skeptic, and the ghostly image of JM Truth constantly appearing on screen, I just can't take anymore.
Yeah, Reds, in case you haven't noticed, me and Team are having a battle for who's going to win Dumb Fuck of the Year. I mean, we know it's probably going to be Kyle.
Second place.
Yeah, we're pushing for who's going to be second place.
Battle for second place.
Yeah. And we know Riley's good at getting second place. So. All right, let's read the super chats.
Hey, listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to try to get my subscribers to give Kyle a run, because there's a lot of people out there with the mindset that Kyle is a dumb fuck for sure, but it was one thing that he did, not a continuous thing, and they want to see somebody else. But I still am under the impression he's the runaway winner. I just hope I can change that with all my effort.
Yeah. No, Riley's got it, especially with his most recent challenge to Gem Panda, somehow proving that Gem Panda couldn't find legislation to do with honey proves that the Earth's flat somehow. I'm not even kidding with what I just said, by the way. $5 from the Athens 619. A moment of silence since we lost a hero to the human race. Alexei Lenov, the first person to walk in space, passed today. Or yesterday, rather. Yeah, that sucks. But you know what? If I died after being in space, I feel like I'd accomplished something in my life. He's one of, a tiny portion of a tiny portion of a tiny portion of people that have done one of the most amazing things that could ever be done. So yeah, well done to that man. $1.99 from Stephen Steen. Reds still won't debate me.
Who?
Stephen Steen.
Probably right.
$2 from Pete. I'm here for the gangbang. Wrong room. That's down the corridor and to the left. $2 from Amanda Clay. Oh yes, ready for Reds to tear him apart. Didn't really need to do it. Harold did it to himself. I must now remember to just call him Harold. €2 from MS to Jessa. Ask what Stirrup thinks about dihydrogen monoxide. He shouldn't have any. It would be better if he didn't. $1.99 from Stephen Steen. Reds getting triggered by flat earth facts. Drama incoming. 2,000 won from Kwesa. That looks like shooting a bear in the head with lots of emojis. $6.66 from Mark Besser. This is Conspiraderp version of Young Earth creationist Gish Gallop. $5 from God's Auditor. This guy is an obvious false flag CIA shill. He hasn't brought up reptilians, Hollow Earth, Heart, or the Jews. I know, right? Totes. $2 from Roy. Dude has me ready to brush my teeth with a 12 gauge. Oofed. $5 from Flattened Destruction. Oh, good job, Flattened Destruction, in shutting down Bev, by the way. Every conspiracy but white supremacy, and that's amazing since that has been the most destructive. But this guy somehow forgot about all of that. Yeah, he can't even conspiracy right. $5 from Sparky NJ. Red Rhetoric 1. 10 minutes no evidence, just a headache. Yep, I really should give facepalm warnings. 200 Nokias from Grey Cat Brew. Every conspiracy theory known to man. He must be scared to death. £1.99 from Evil Scotsman. Why is there so much blood coming out of my ears? Sorry. $5 from Saxy81. Well, that's 10 minutes of my life I'll never get back. To quote from Creaky, this guy is a complete spanner. Yes, $1.99 from Stephen Steen. Red's already using CGI because he doesn't have any pictures. Yeah, everything Red has filmed is CGI. You're absolutely right. Busted. $5 from Miria Vegeta. When Flat Earth Aussie Jesus says evidence doesn't prove a flat Earth, you done messed up. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. $2 from Cajun Crustacean. Flerf. I don't understand, so nuh-uh. 2,000 won from Kwesa. Friends, don't let friends flirf on YouTube. Yeah, don't be friends with a flirf. End of. $1.99 from Robert Williams. The greatest flat Earth argument ever. Derp. $2 from Cajun Crustacean. There are not enough dingers in existence for this guy. $1.99 from Stephen Steen. Howard playing 4D chess. Red stuck in checkers. $5 from Rangerman9404. Harold is spewing so much verbal diarrhea, he should be speaking into a toilet. 20 Nokias from Tommy Grunveld. Please stop, entertain mental cases, just sad. Yep, that's why I want other stupid to tackle, but that's Flat Earth really, in general, some kind of mental case. $2 from Flat and Destruction. Howard, you are very disrespectful. €2 from MS Didiesa. In the Bible, Satan is a nicer character than God. €2 from Luke Firewalker. Howard needs professional help. $1.99 from Stephen Steen. Stop censoring Harold. Yes, stop censoring Harold, everybody.
Stop censoring Harold. That's beautiful.
$2 from Ken Hovind, cellmate.
Shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, the dude just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
He was on fire. Like, I think he took some of it beforehand. Who let Harold out of the asylum? $2 from Pete. His Instagram account is 6th sense _videos, apparently. $5 from Translator Carmanian. Any definition of second-hand information that excludes Red's evidence would also easily exclude Howard's crowded collages and paranoid ramblings. $2 from God's Auditor. MK Ultra hasn't seen original CIA docs. £2 from Stevo's. 20 centimeters is 0.2 meters. Why is this? Please ask him. No, he wouldn't want his head to explode live. $2 from Roy. What drugs is this guy on and where do I get some? $1.99 from Stephen Steen. Is that Kyle in the top left? Did he change his... Fuck off. I'm way better looking than Kyle. €2.
I don't know. We might have to get you a garden gnome hat to check that out.
Yeah. €2 from MS Digessa. Flerf logic. Trans people exist, so the Earth is flat. 100 Aussie dollars. Thank you very much, Aussies. Featured pick. I think this guy has been spending too much time with Fat Earth Aussie Jesus. Good job destroying this Flerf Reg, you ugly plumber. €2 from Gerard Seleg. Hashtag Harold. $1.99 from Propel Lols. Flat Earth has been properly curb stomped tonight, GG. €2 from J Vamp I'm not going to try and pronounce your name because I'll get it wrong. I nominate Howard for Dumb Fuck of the Year. He's got a hard challenge this year. $2 Aussie from Amanda Clay. Every Flat Earth answer ever. Nuh-uh, because reasons. $6.66 from Curvy New Yorker. Let's keep Harold in mind for next year's Dumb Fuck of the Year. Harold 2020. I just checking if more have come in. Oh, a couple more. 5 Aussie dollars from some guy with a uke. This debate proves there is space below the bottom of the barrel. €2 from MS De Jessa. Another 2 for hearing a Reds debate again. Thank you. And 1.99 from Proper Lels. If he doesn't want the Xanax, I'll take it. Yeah, I think we all could do with some Xanax after that absolute dumpster fire. Reds, thank you for coming on once again and proving that even an ugly plumber from Florida can destroy the flat Earth.
Eat a dick.
But yeah, we would love to have you on Science for Satire with us tomorrow if you're free. If not, we can arrange another evening.
Depends on how good the blowjob is, but sure.
Awesome, that'll be fun. So come back to Team Skeptics channel tomorrow. What we can say, midnight, team?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Sound good.
Awesome. And we'll just have a good laugh at how ridiculous Flat Earth has become and how easy it is to absolutely destroy. I'm loving the hashtags in the chat. Hashtag stop censoring Harold. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, guys. I will have my new video out on Wednesday, probably. It's going to be Anthony Riley's submission for Dumbfuck of the Year from me. So his 3rd episode of Flerfs Are Idiots. But you've got a JM Truth one coming up, haven't you, team?
Yeah, I do. I actually have a little surprise guest. That's why it's pushed my video back one day, is to include this little segment from this guest. Personal friend of mine, so should be good.
Awesome. And in regards to the mods, the first batch of mods have been chosen for now. We'll be looking at it again and maybe add in some more over the coming weeks. So if you wanted a mod and you haven't had it yet, then just keep behaving and you probably will get it at some point in the future. Thank you very much for my mods for looking after the chat. There's nothing else to say apart from Flat Earth is dead, and I hope everyone enjoys dancing on its grave, because man, was that a fucking stupid time for humanity. Yeah, stupidity isn't alright. Fight the Flat Earth. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the